So the Indiana Fever unfortunately hired a snake oil saleswoman as their coach because I don't believe one word that Stephanie White has ever said. I don't believe one word of this. I don't put most blame for this season on Stephanie White. I don't. I put most blame on whichever one of Kelly Krauskopf or Amber Cox is making basketball decisions. I'm putting most of the blame on the front office because, in my opinion, the front office are the biggest culprits. I think the front office are horrendous. I think they did a horrible job. I think they not only did a horrible job, I think they're continuing to do a horrible job. And I think, all in all, it's just a bad situation. It's just a bad situation with Fever. But that doesn't mean that even though she's not the biggest reason that Stephanie White is not looking like a fraud right now, because she's responsible for what's happening on the court. And what is happening on the court is horrendous. It's absolutely horrendous. Like, the Indiana Fever, and by the way, if she wanted to keep Temi, they would have kept Temi. Let's be honest. If the coach, because they're on a similar deal, they would have been able to bring him in. If the coach wanted to keep Temi, they would have kept Temi. She was hired by then. But no. It seems like they did not want to keep Temi. It seems they just didn't want to keep her. So that's realistically on the Indiana Fever there and on Stephanie White. But when we're watching these games, every game is rinse and repeat. And this is on the coach. If this happens once, you can blame the players. If this happens twice, you probably start blaming the coach, but you might be able to blame the players. If this happens 3 times, you definitely start blaming the coach. If this happens 4 times in a row, you could, there's no way you can blame the players for the same thing happening 4 times in a row and it being the same thing happening tactically. So, we're going to look at the last 4 games in the Fever. And I'm just going to look at all the schedule. And we're going to look at fourth quarters. We're looking at fourth quarters when they mattered. When fourth quarters have mattered, and we're going to look for the entire season. Like, Stephanie White is just throwing games away. She's throwing games away. So if you look at the start of the season, they won it. They blew this one in the fourth quarter. They had a chance to win the game, and they blew it. They did come up clutch in this game in their defense. They had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. They blew it. They just weren't good down the stretch in this game. They came back. They made a huge comeback and then lost it in the end. They literally were up 17 points, and the Mystics brought it back to 2. They were up 17 points, the Mystics brought it back to 2. They just pulled it out in the end. So, again, double-digit four-quarter leads blown in 1-2 games up to here. They won this game comfortably, lost this game comfortably, won this game comfortably, double-digit lead blown in the fourth quarter, double-digit lead blown in the fourth quarter, they lost the fourth quarter by double digits, I'm pretty sure. I think they were up 18 going to the fourth, it was a 17, they lost by 9. But, they literally, I was watching the game today, and they were up by 8 points going into the fourth quarter. And I literally said to my chat, and I was like, the Indiana Fever have lost their last 3 fourth quarters by 9+ points. Based on, the averages. They should lose this game. They were literally in a situation where they had the game won. And not only that, why did she go slow and small? What? That makes no sense. She went small ball. She played Sophie Cunningham on power forward, and while she was slowing it down. You either go slow, or if you want to go big and slow, it's one thing. Don't go slow and small. I understand Natasha Howard sucked. But if you want to go small, just press. Do something. Do something other than revert. Other than you go up 10 points. It's literally like watching the Fever is like when you play a video game and the algo hits in. You know when you're playing 2K and you go up by a certain amount of points and the game just starts screwing you? It's like the algo gets turned on against the Indiana Fever with the Steph White Fever. These Stephanie White's Fever are the biggest choke artists. I literally I was there in the middle of the game. As soon as they blew the lead, I threw on a Leeds United jersey. And if you guys know what that means, you guys know how little hope I have for them keeping on holding a lead if I'm throwing on a Leeds United jersey. You know how little hope we have for this team. And it's every game. And it's not even good teams. Like they blew fourth quarter leads to the Aces. The Aces are not a good team. They blew a double-digit third quarter lead to the Aces. They're not good. They blew a double-digit lead to the Valkyries, missing half their team. They're not very good either. They blew a double-digit lead to the Sparks, who stink. The Sparks lost to the Sky. The Sparks didn't even just lose to the Sky. They lost bad to the Sky. They blew the Sparks are choke artists themselves. How many big fourth quarter leads did the Sparks blow? We literally lost to the choke. We choked to the choke artists. The team choked to the choke artists. And I mean this. And I mean this when I say this. Like, this is on Steph. This game here, the totality of the season is on is on the front office. The totality of the season, and every decision they made was wrong. The only decisions, I still think the DeWanna Bonner signing just didn't work out. I still think, even if you have a time machine, like in hindsight, that makes sense. The Natasha Howard signing only made sense because they got rid of Tammy. If Tammy was there, they didn't need to sign Natasha Howard. They could have literally signed whoever they wanted. They could have signed whoever they wanted. They could have had 12 players. They could have had Michaela Timpson. They didn't have to sign Bree Turner, who has somehow has diplomatic immunity from being cut because she's part of the Players Association. She must have diplomatic immunity. It must be a thing where she has to be on a team. She has to be on a team. And the worst part about this is it is the most boring basketball. It is the most boring basketball ever. And every game is the same. They play aggressive, they get up by 10 points, and then they stop playing aggressive and they lose because they don't have the talent, they just have a play style. They just have a play style. When they run, they create opportunities in transition. When they don't run, they play half court. And this half court offense that Stephanie White runs literally is reliant. It is solely reliant on making difficult shots. Their half court offense is only as good as their difficult shot makers are. And as we've seen down the stretch, they don't make difficult shots. This team does not make difficult shots down the stretch. And that should not be a tactic. A team should not be tactically making difficult shots. And I understand that's not what the offense is meant to do, but it's what the offense is doing. And as a coach, you got to just say, you know what, screw it. This isn't what we want, but this is what's happening. So I'm going to go and scrap it. We're going to change up our system. We're going to draw in some quick hitters because the team doesn't really run quick hitters. They run occasional ATOs, and she's not bad when it comes to ATOs. I'll give her that. She's not a bad ATO drawer. But at the same time, it's just getting ridiculous now. It's getting absolutely ridiculous, and it's not getting better either. All around as a situation, it's not getting better. It's getting worse. We're blowing the same leads as we were at the start of the season, but now it's the worst teams. And by the way, we're choke artists with Caitlin. We're choke artists without Caitlin. Whether Caitlin's on the floor or not, we're still blowing leads. It's ridiculous. And at that stage, it's on the coach because the system cannot generate open shots. If Caitlin Clark is not generating an open shot for this team, they just don't shoot an open shot. They just don't shoot an open shot. If Ari McDonald or Caitlin Clark aren't pushing the pace, they just don't run. Is it a fitness issue? Is it a stamina issue? Is that the issue? Did they not push them hard enough at training camp? Is that the issue? I don't know. I genuinely, I don't know. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But all I know is that this coach is a damn fraud. And I'm not saying Steph White's a bad coach, because I'm not. Because she's not. She was garbage with Vanderbilt. She needs certain players. Steph White is a good, grinded-out coach. She's good at dragging teams down to her level. And if you give her big, strong players with size, they can be a physical team and be effective. We saw at Vanderbilt when she tried to play fast-paced. She's not a good coach with these type of players. She's just not. She's just not. And the Indiana Fever are not going to fire her coming into the season because they're not going to want to admit they made a mistake. If they won't cut Bree Turner because they don't want to admit they made a mistake, you better believe they are not going to fire Christie's or Stephanie White. They're not going to admit they made a mistake.